Hello, all. I am Lialo, the first one fucking this situation.
Did you just say one fuck or blunt fuck? Anyway, I am Jaden. I am another blunt fuck. I am from the blunt despair, and I am very blunt, as it may seem.
Yeah, well, in this episode of our podcast also happens to be our first episode that we're doing. We're talking about a little piece of shit show called Battle Girl High School. It's really, really bad from what we've both seen. Do you have any thoughts on it, Jaden?
Oh, I just want to state that on Mal, it's like a 5.23. Like, I don't use Mal at all, because, like, I'm just not a big fan of it,
It's
because I
actually a
just like the ratings and
5.18.
how it all works. It's gotten lower, oh god.
Yeah, it has actually dropped in rating. You didn't think that was possible,
That
but it
fast?
is.
Like, episode 3 just got released, like, 2 days ago. How is that? Okay then. Well, I can confirm that at least 80% of the population have dropped this show already. So
They should have, because this show is absolutely awful. From the absolutely insane, nonsensical storyline so far, that seems like it's the second or third season of an anime that has no previous seasons, which makes no sense whatsoever, but that's what it feels like. It feels like you should know stuff beforehand that you never learned, and then it's just like getting to the bad part. It's terrible. Hands down,
it's
it's
like
just
if
terrible.
yeah, it's like if you jump to Naruto and like, okay, have this one filler arc. It's like, what's the tuning exams? Have the filler arc, please. Just shoves it in your face with the boring, a lot of characters you don't really know, and it's just all like unclean and not very interesting to watch.
Yeah,
Like, sure, we can just like say it's shit like over and over again for 30 minutes, but I think we should just focus on certain points. Like, for example, the character designs. To me, they're pretty interesting, but the animation studio that are animating it didn't really elaborate on them and make them more unique. They just look like average magical girls. All the voice actors sound the same to me, except for like three voice actors at like the last 5 minutes of the episode. Uh,
yeah, they do all have a very similar voice. Like it's all the high pitched, annoying, more annoying kind of anime voice. We all know it. If you're
yeah.
watching this, you should know that. That's a basic anime thing. You know that one high pitched character. Imagine that being most of the character base. Basically, that's the show.
Yeah, I mean, I liked one character because they had a deep voice. Uh, and it wasn't the male. His voice was pretty high too.
Yeah. Also, one thing about this show is it's based off of a mobile game that you on Android and other devices, and the game itself apparently is actually not that bad, especially for a mobile game, and the character design's interesting, but this show, all it's done for that, for what it's based off of, has taken away from it. It's shown that if you're making an anime adaptation of a game, you can make that game have a worse reputation than it did before. Because with this show, it's taking a supposedly pretty good game and then changing it into an absolutely unwatchable piece of shit that nobody wants to be associated with. And it's terrible. And also, it kind of takes away from the original character design from the anime, not from the anime, from the game, and it makes it just basically makes the game worse because you can't. It gets rid of some of its uniqueness, and it also puts something bad with it. If you kind of get
I
what
feel
I
like a
mean.
good comparison for this series is the anime adaptation for the game Danganronpa, which is known by the fans as being the worst adaptation that could have possibly happened. They got rid of all the unique parts of the character, and I mean, they didn't really have as much excuses, because like, with Battle Girls, they can easily do the excuse, this is for the fans of the series who already know all the shit. But then again, I don't know how large the fan base is, but I don't think it's large enough to sell enough anime merchandise and anime Blu-rays to actually make them money back. Who knows?
Yeah,
They probably have a shit ton of money from their game sales or something with
and
microtransactions, considering it's mobile.
And at least with Danganronpa, they had, if you looked at it purely as an anime and not as an adaptation of the game or anything, it wasn't the worst show in the world. Like, it's watchable. It's at least watchable. Versus this,
Yeah.
that I could barely even get through episode 1, let alone get through an entire season, which isn't even released yet. And it's just atrocious. I was cringing through episode 1, and I have watched plenty of anime, and this one has made me cringe more than any I've seen in a very, very long time. It was
I
just
mean, it's
bad.
pretty obvious what demographic this is for. It's obviously marketed towards magical girl and cute girls doing cute things fans, and newer anime fans who think cheap action and flashy colors can entertain them.
Yeah, but even for new anime fans, if they're watching this show, I wouldn't even recommend it for them, because for this show, it's not even. It doesn't even have a good story of any sort. The battle animations and the fight scenes are. They're just bad. They don't seem like they're actually trying at all. The main conflict I saw in the first episode, for Christ's sake, was the freaking characters not trying hard enough or some shit. It was terrible. It didn't make any sense. And they had these for instance, in the episode I watched, they had these monitors that in this like control center for these battle girls, and they never even told you where these battle girls came from. Never told you that once. They didn't tell you why the hell they have a control center and why people know them. They didn't tell you what the main enemy is. They told you its name, but they never told you why it is or what its purpose is. They didn't tell you anything about the characters other than like just saying hello and saying their name. And there's no character development, no real introduction, no nothing. It was just an empty shell that doesn't even look good.
Yeah. Also, I just noticed because you haven't read out the synopsis yet, which may be a bit confusing for people who haven't watched the episode. Add synopsis up real quick.
It talks about basically how it's based off of a school action role-playing game, which is on mobile. And it's
So
set
the
in the year,
synopsis is telling where it's from. Fucking
yeah,
hell.
and it says it's set in the year 2045, and the world has been contaminated by Erosu, mysterious invaders who suddenly appeared, not for any apparent reason, and humans find themselves restricted and contained. Standing boldly against these invaders are ordinary girls everywhere, without a powerful army or even weapons. Yes, that is the actual description.
Oh god.
The
I mean, like,
Shiogami Girls Academy is a school for those Hoshimori, Star Guardians, destined to fight the Urosu. The player is assigned to this academy and to train girls and take back the contaminated Earth. I read that right. That is how it is read.
well
And
then.
so, once
That's-
again, the chimes echo through the sun-strewn schoolyard to mark the beginning of classes today. Dot, dot,
Oh
dot.
god. It sounds like a great comedy series. Anyway.
It's not even supposed to be comedy. That's the best part. It's a joke
Okay.
that isn't even funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that this is a game just from that synopsis. Like, oh, mysterious monsters appeared and we have to defeat them. Obviously, you're gonna be grinding those fuckers daily.
Yeah.
Like, we should, if episode 2 or episode 3, there's just a scene where the girls are literally just like standing there and just continuously just grinding and grinding for like the entire episode, trying to like level up and get stronger. I will
Honestly-
agree and
Honestly,
give the
that'd
show
be better
one.
than what the show is.
Yeah. If only it was a realistic look on addiction to mobile games, showing how people just slave their lives away, grinding in RPGs and spending money in microtransactions. Just a random scene where one of the characters gets really overpowered, and then just say thanks for the cash. That would be great. But they
That's
probably would
called
never do that.
any show where people go inside of a video game, kill a whole bunch of shit, get OP, and then basically are the most powerful being in existence. otherwise known as things like
Starburst
SAO.
streamer. Yep.
But another thing here is the genres for this anime apparently are action, sci-fi, and school. This
That's wait. Is
anime
the school is
has
wrong? What?
no. It's it's hard to express how terrible it is. We've been trying this entire podcast so far to show you and tell you basically to not watch this piece of shit and why not to watch it. It's hard to explain how terrible it is.
I mean, at least like last season we had Manga Sensei, which was shit, but you could still watch it.
Yeah, and it had some funny parts to it, and the art style at least was good, and the animation was good. But like this doesn't have anything going for it. It's a copy rip-off series of a game that was actually supposedly somewhat decent, and they glorified it and made it so terrible that it's impossible to watch, and that anybody that watches it wishes that they can bleach their eyes afterwards.
And we will probably be watching episode 2 and episode 3. Because we're going to need more things to talk about on this podcast.
Possibly.
Or else we're going to run out of ideas in at least 2 weeks.
Oh,
and those
that
2 weeks will
seems-
be 2 episodes.
Yep, 2 episodes in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, probably should have said that at first. It's a
Yeah, that
weekly
would
podcast.
have been a good idea, actually. Just throw it in the description. Pretend this never happened.
Yeah. But this is going to be a weekly podcast that we have once every, probably, I'd say, once every week on Wednesdays. It's going to be talking about anime shows and basically recommending them or not recommending them. Obviously, our first pick is some terrible piece of shit that we could not even possibly comprehend how it could be so bad. So we're having trouble talking about it because it is so ungodly terrible. There's no points to really bring up about it because it's pointless. It's pointless, bad animation, bad fight scenes, copy paste bullshit. I can't really explain it any other way than that.
I feel like this may just be a good segue to move on to not talking about this shit show and more moving on to a game, like anime adaptations of games. Which ones have you watched and which ones have you enjoyed? So far for me, I've watched Persona, all the Persona adaptations, all the Persona movies, the Danganronpa animation, Danganronpa 3, which wasn't an adaptation but more of a sequel to Danganronpa 2 and 1.
Well, all I've seen so far is that I know of that's based off of a game is I've seen this piece of shit, and I've seen Danganronpa, and Danganronpa 3. I saw those, and any others that I've seen, I didn't know that they were game adaptations, or they weren't, basically.
Every light novel adaptation, every visual novel adaptation is basically a game adaptation. Yeah. But at least those have a decent story.
Sometimes.
There's the Fate series.
I saw the Fruits of Grisaya. Fruits of Grisaya, that's some good shit. That is a really good adaptation of a visual novel.
I don't think I've heard of it.
It's basically it's about a dude that was raised by this like really badass chick that's part of the army as an assassin, but you don't know that until later. So I probably shouldn't have said that.
Sorry,
but I did.
Grisaya no Rajikijo?
What?
I think I really know it's by. I think I know the series you're talking about, but I know it's by its. I know it by its Japanese name.
Yeah.
Or its English name.
Yeah. I know it's by its English name because I normally read them as the English name when I watch them.
I've had it bookmarked for me to continue watching it for like at least 2 years now.
You definitely should. The second season and the third season are really good too, and the animation style is alright. It's a little bit confusing with the way that it's a box, but at the same time it's pretty good. The story's pretty well made, the character's design is really good, and overall I'd say it's a pretty decent adaptation of the visual novel it's based off of. The visual novel was based off of was a great, great visual novel, at least in my
Uh,
opinion.
have you played it?
I played part of it. Yeah, I played the very beginning of it, and I played a little bit past that at some point. It was a while ago, though.
Oh. I never really play any visual novels or just games in general that would be able to be an adaptation because I'm a Western FPS nerd.
FPS games are fun. I agree.
They are. As I
I
cling onto my Halo 3 helmet.
I mostly play RPG games, not like MMORPGs, but like real RPGs. Like for instance, Dragon Age Inquisition. That game is great. I love that game to death.
Oh, I love that game so fucking much, but I uninstalled it because
And
I had no space left.
and also Nier Automata. I love that game too. I liked Final Fantasy 15.
Oh,
I
fuck.
really like Dark Souls. I play Dark Souls 3 all the time still. That game is really fun. It's hardcore
I
though.
want to play Nier so badly, but fucking hell. It probably couldn't run on my shitty laptop, and I don't have a PS4 at the moment.
Yeah,
Uh,
Nier Automata is definitely more towards better computers in terms of graphics and in terms
yeah.
of actual gameplay mechanics.
I watched a Let's Play of every single walkthrough, like every single route in the first, like Nier Automata, Nier Gestalt.
Yeah.
Uh, Nico B is the person who I watched. He was pretty good. He does a lot of games. Oh yeah, another series adaptation, Ace Attorney. I watched the first episode when it came out.
I've
It was
actually
pretty
never heard of
good.
that. I have
I,
never
I'm
heard of
not
that.
really, I'm not really a fan of the Ace Attorney franchise. Like I know the memes, and that's all. Uh, it's Ace Attorney Phoenix, right? It's also known by that name. About a lawyer being a
Oh,
lawyer.
it's about a lawyer?
Yeah, it's you probably know by the objection meme.
Objection!
Yep, that's what it's from.
I've probably seen the meme before. I've seen a lot of memes that have to do with anime, as have we all. I mean, it's not that uncommon anymore. Memes are spreading like cancer. That's why they're called cancer.
But memes, I mean, cancer doesn't spread that fast from my memory compared to some other things.
Oh, compared to memes.
Yeah, true. In the words of Izuru Kamakura, memes are ideals, they are spreading, they are despair.
How are memes to spare?
I don't know. His logic confuses me. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's because he was trying to find unknown things in the despair, and he found memes. So that just plummeted him into despair. I don't know. This
I
entire scene confused
see.
me. You
That's.
probably don't even get what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You said you watched Danganronpa 3 there.
I did, but I watched it to a certain extent. I didn't finish it.
I'm referencing the 11th episode of the second anime.
I watched them both at the same time as they were coming out, and I watched up to episode like 5, and then I stopped because I couldn't watch it anymore
How
because I
come?
kind of forgot about it, and then it was open on
Yeah.
my browser for a long time, and I exit out of it without realizing it, and I was like, oh shit, and then I forgot to reload it, so I never really watched it again.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend watching Danganronpa 3 if you haven't played every Danganronpa game, read every Danganronpa novel, just etc.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So that explains why I don't know anything about it.
I mean, you're probably like, the one thing you would know is like, hey look, it's Naegi, he's in handcuffs, who are the Future
Yeah.
Foundation, what is happening?
And I remember that girl. I don't remember her name. The main character girl, basically, in one of the side things, in one of
Ultra
Danganronpa
Despair
3.
Girls.
It was the one that was it Shitose? No. It's she had I liked her
Tomorrow.
Neko hoodie. I liked her Neko hoodie.
Necker Hoodie? What? Oh, Chiaki.
Yeah, that one.
You said spin-off and female. I just assumed you meant Ultra Despair Girls, which has a female protagonist.
No, I have no idea what that is.
It's a spin-off game.
Oh,
It's a third-person shooter and focuses on the city of Toa, or Toa City by its nickname. Uh, and it's pretty good. It's like in the community, it's like a big split between no one likes Ultra Despair Girls, and if you haven't watched it, you're not a fucking Danganronpa fan. I mean, haven't played it. Sorry. It's kind of funny.
That is, yeah, that is called ultimate fandom right there. You
Yeah.
start getting to that level of
In the
split.
words of a great person, nobody hates the Danganronpa fandom more than the Danganronpa fandom.
That's true with any fandom, especially like
Yep.
the yaoi ones.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I need to continue my yaoi interview. Random segue to my blog. Oh, you should check out my blog at the bluntdespair.wordpress.com. That was perfect.
What do you talk about in your blog?
And just anime shit. Just anime and weeb shit. That's all.
So kind of
I
like
don't
this
really have anything
podcast.
else. Basically, is this podcast, but in text form and with only me,
And
like-
slightly less awkward.
and with more yaoi too.
Oh,
But
yaoi.
but to make a review of episode 2 of Koito Uso, I mean not episode 3 of Koito Uso. I've written a mini review, but I haven't, I only show that to fucking keep offline. So I'm just doing a review of it, and the main focus of the review will be: do I want to love best girl or best guy? That's just the entire
see.
premise.
That's
Because they're both very good
Interesting.
characters. Have you watched Isekai Shokodoku? Don't know if I said that right. This season, A Restaurant to Another World.
Yes, I have actually watched that. I oddly enjoyed that show.
I love this show so much, but I dropped it on episode 3 because it's getting boring. Like,
Well, there's only
I
3
love the
episodes out.
feeling. Yeah, I know. I dropped it halfway through episode 3, like exactly
Oh.
halfway, like the 10. Or
I've only
12.
watched episode 1 and 2. That's it. I haven't watched episode 3 yet. But
It's good. Like,
It was pretty.
I would.
For the premise, it was really good because I was reading it. I was like, "Fucking restaurant to another world. That sounds stupid." And then I realized, and then when I actually watched it, I was like, "Holy shit! This is actually well made."
Yeah, that's what I thought, and it is well made. But the thing is, every episode is the same thing.
Yeah,
It's-
with
it's
food
It's
and
the same thing over and over again. It
I-
had mystery in it, so
I
my
do like
hopes for the
looking at
first
other
episode were.
characters. Like looking at
Like,
the
but the thing
character
is-
design. They have good that.
But,
They
like,
did good with that.
Yeah, they did go with character design, but they need to make the characters interesting. Like, do you mind if I spoil something for like the first half of the third episode?
Sure. Go right ahead.
There's a character who I forgot his name already, but he made pasta sauce, and it was revealed that his secret was he stole it from another world.
Oh.
Like, he was basically just like he wanted to eat the pasta so much that he went and created it himself and created like a monopoly off of that empire in his own world, which I thought was a pretty interesting premise.
That is, wow, that is intense pasta loving right there.
Yeah.
I have never met somebody in my life that likes pasta that much. Though I'm sure those people exist.
And then there's a
Probably.
scene where he's like, "Grandson, you will carry my legacy. You will become the pasta
Pasta?
god." It may not have been exactly like that,
Carry
because I
my
may not be
legacy of
imagining it right,
pasta.
but yeah. I'm like checking my reviews, like I should have my mini reviews for series so I can bring them up. Knights and Magic. You should watch episode 3 of that. Have you seen the show Knights and Magic?
I saw the first 3 episodes of that and I liked it. I actually really liked it. I was not expecting to like it, but it was pretty good. It was weird. Weird as all hell, but it was really good.
I feel like I'm not in many anime communities and that sort of thing. Like, I don't talk to many anime fans. I don't know why. Like, occasionally I'll like jump onto A or something, but like, I enjoyed it. Like, I feel like, yes, I'll say like 10 more times until I make my point. If it moved the beginning twist, like of him going to another world, episode 2, it would have been called a Yojo Senki clone, and I kind of wanted to see that happen. I don't know if it's already happening, considering it's about an old man who was good at something and really pushed that thing and was powerful in his own right, getting sent to another world as a small child who wants battle experience and wants to get higher in the ranks. It's pretty similar. If
It
one of them was a Nazi.
Yeah, and and also he's the same gender.
Huh?
I said, and also,
No.
yeah, and in this one, he's like a dude that's reincarnated to a dude, versus the other one that was an old dude reincarnated to a female,
A little girl.
a
A
little
little Nazi
girl.
girl.
And in this one, it's more focused towards like magical and fantasy stuff, versus the one that you were talking about before is more like war, and it does
Yeah.
have magic in it, but it's more like real, not really realistic. You can't really have realistic magic, but more dark magic, like in terms of
Yeah.
how it's viewed.
It's more of a dark fantasy military show.
Yeah, versus this one that's more of a lighthearted fantasy show with mechs and frickin' magic shit.
Just fucking mechs and magic, you know?
Mechs and
Two
magic.
perfect things.
Th-
So,
They somehow go good together. Don't know how.
yeah.
Robots and
When you
magic.
said like realistic magic, I just imagined like a Nazi just walking out into the battlefield doing cheap parlor tricks, trying to confuse the enemy.
Oh my
You
god.
can't do this. The coin is behind your ear. Now then, follow me to the gas chambers.
Oh god, that is terrible. That is terrible.
Yeah, it is. We've hit the 30-minute mark for the not the recording, but the actual Skype call.
For the recording, we met the 29-minute mark.
So close.
Now
Well,
it's
why don't
okay.
we just move the conversation on to what are some anime YouTubers, mainly reviewers or podcasts, that you actually watch?
I watched Lost Pause. I watched him a few times.
Uh,
Occasionally. He's not really a reviewer, but he's an anime person. I stopped watching him recently though because of just surely my lack of watching YouTube.
I stopped watching him months ago because he got fucking. I enjoyed his content for so long, but I just stopped enjoying it after a while, you know? Because it
He-
was carbon copy
He
this.
actually made a video very recently saying that he realizes that and that he's going to change that.
Well, how am I supposed to know that I unsubscribed months ago? It's too late.
Well, yeah, he did that, so you might want to have to check him out again. Because
So I saw an edited
it'll help.
thumbnail with a, like, pretty sure it was a red arrow pointing, oh no, what? This is so disgusting or something. And I'm just like, ugh, not clicking that shit.
Yeah, that it's very catchy, as in terms of catch your eye.
Then you mean clickbait, but sure.
Yeah, clickbait. That's what I'm going for. That's the word. Yeah, clickbait. Woo woo
Oh.
hoo hoo.
You know, if we're going with the clickbait theme, we should just make the, instead of doing the thumbnail that we got for this video, just make it anime tits.
Put the tits on
No,
the
no.
thumbnail, bitch.
Get Battle Girls Magic High School, hentai, and then censor it, and then use that.
But even
That'll get people to click.
I don't think that the show is even good enough to have any.
People will say a naked girl. Well, no, the game. Games can have hentai too.
But the game is like, from what I've seen, is like chibi little 3D character models. And that would be some really, really strange shit if you're talking about going in that level.
I mean, I saw a couple like seconds of gameplay on the video, son. But it's mainly just 3D sprites, right?
yeah,
they could
but
probably
from what I saw,
make
it was
hentai out of the character designs.
yeah, from
Though
what
I'm pretty
I saw,
sure it's
it
gonna
was
be
that.
like, is this Love Life hentai? I feel like it's Love Life hentai. They look like Love Life characters.
They kind of do, but the actual art style for when they're going into the visual novel portion of the game, especially for a mobile game, is pretty unique and pretty well made.
Yeah, I don't really play many mobile games because I don't use any mobile devices.
Same here. I barely ever use my mobile devices.
Like, I was given a phone to call my mom and like talk to my family and that sort of thing. I just like never charged it. Still haven't charged it. A month later. Should probably charge that there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably a good
another
idea.
topic. What is another series I've reviewed? It's mainly just been Koito Uso. Oh yeah, Fate Apocrypha.
Never seen that.
Any of the Fate series.
Oh, the Fate. Oh, I saw Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, Fate Unlimited Blade Works. And that's it.
You
I
should
didn't
not
see.
watch Fate Apocrypha. I don't. I want to like say my opinions about it, but it's like I don't know. I like. I watched it. It was a show I watched. I don't like. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I think I've dropped it considering I haven't watched the latest episodes except for episode 1. Uh, and I haven't written a review on episode 2, so I cannot confirm whether I've watched it or not because I have bad memory.
So that was our first episode of the podcast. Sorry for the fact that it was super awkward. Had a lot of awkward pauses and crap. It's our first time trying to do this before, so we'll hopefully get better the more we do it, and we'll be able to get more conversation topics and things. But at least we finally got it started, and finally got it, at least one episode of it done. So good to talk to you all. Jade, want to do your part
And
of the
thank
outro?
you all for listening to the despairful blonde fox who can't. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, see y'all.